Good morning, my name is George Harrison and this is your Solent Sports News. An independent report has found that Southampton Football Club should have done more to protect its young players in the 1970s and 80s. The report, which was released today, shows that the club was slow to act when dealing with youth team coach Bob Higgins, who was secretly abusing young boys. Higgins was jailed for 24 years in 2019 for sexually touching trainees. The club have said they have no excuses for their failures. James Ward-Prowse is set to book himself a spot in the Saints' history books. The Southampton skipper will reach 200 appearances in the weekend clash against Liverpool. Ralph Hasenhüttl has hailed the English international.
What I like from this player is when you show him something, when you criticize him for something, he's immediately able to switch it and to improve this part. And this is very good behavior for a player, I think, because he's always open-minded, he's always willing to learn, and this is never a disadvantage.
More on the Premier League. The headline game of the weekend have league leaders Chelsea take on Manchester United at Stamford Bridge. I have football journalist Sam Holmes here to talk more about the upcoming fixtures.
Yes, George, Chelsea are off the back of a fantastic 4-0 win against Juventus midweek, and they're also 3 points clear at the top of the Premier League. At this moment in time, they do look unstoppable. For Man United, though, it's been reported that Ralf Rangnick is going to take charge in the coming days as manager until the end of the season. Carrick got off to a good start as interim boss, winning away at Villarreal in the Champions League. He recognised there is a long way to go for Man United, though.
It's not going to happen overnight. It certainly hasn't happened just because we won a game on Tuesday night, and it won't happen whatever the result is on Sunday. But over time, you've got to find that energy and that motivation and embrace the challenge.
What games have we got to look forward to tomorrow, Sam?
So the early kick-off tomorrow sees Eddie Howe take to the dugout for the first time as Newcastle boss. His team goes up against Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. They'll look back to bounce back after their heavy 4-0 defeat at Liverpool last weekend. Also, Patrick Vieira and Steven Gerrard will roll back the years and face once again as Crystal Palace host Aston Villa.
You could kick him, you could fight him, you could compete against him, and he'd shake your hand after the game. He was a top footballer and one of the toughest battles I ever faced in terms of being a player. I expect the same to be the case from the side. I know he's a winner, I know he's a competitor.
Just days after being sacked as Aston Villa manager, Dean Smith was given the Norwich job. He got off to a fantastic start last weekend and will look to get back-to-back wins as they welcome Wolves to Carrow Road.
It'll be a tough game for us, but we're at home again, and if the second half atmosphere is anything to go by, then if we can get the supporters behind us, it'll be a tough place to come.
Brighton did a double over Leeds last season and will look to continue their bright start to the season in the evening kick-off tomorrow.
Thank you, Sam. In cricket, Australia have named a new Test captain for the Ashes. Fast bowler Pat Cummins replaces Tim Paine, who stepped down due to investigation into texts he sent to female colleagues. Cummins will be joined by former captain Steve Smith, who he is excited to work alongside.
I feel like I'm really well equipped. I've had a good few years of training if this did pop up, and people like Steve, other teammates around, support staff, I think will be pretty seamless.
Payne's immediate break from cricket means he is set to miss the Ashes. His step down as captain happened last week. Sexually explicit texts were sent to a female colleague. The wicket-keeper and his family have will continue support from Cricket Tasmania professionally and personally. There's been two big upsets in the world of snooker recently. Reigning champion Neil Robertson fell to a shock 6-2 defeat to amateur John Astley. Breaks of 74, 83 and 119 helped Astley on his way to a famous win. Another amateur, Si Jiao Wei, knocked out Shaun Murphy, which led to the Englishman to heavily criticise the presence of amateur players in professional events. Great Britain got off to a perfect start in the Basketball World Cup qualifying. The men shocked world number 10 side Greece with a stunning comeback. GB, who are ranked 42nd, trailed Greece by 15 points at half-time. They went on to win 78-69 to beat their opponents for the first time since 1984. Welsh rugby team Cardiff and Scarlets are trying to return from South Africa. The country was put on the UK's red list. From 4 a.m. on Sunday, any British resident returning to the country must quarantine in a hotel. Before that, those returning must isolate at home for 10 days. The Spanish Grand Prix Circuit de Barcelona-Catalonia have signed a new contract to remain on the Formula One calendar until 2025. The 5-year contract aims for the track to become a model and work benchmark of sustainability in order to keep up with the Formula One's goal to be a net zero carbon as a sport by 2030. It will be the 6th race on a record 23 Grand Prix schedule, with tracks and facility upgrades for next year's race in May. That's all from us for now. Check out all of our stories on solentjournalism.co.uk and don't forget to check out our social medias on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram.